Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Friday, which means it's time for another video. Now, one thing that this channel in the early days became synonymous with was rants, me getting angry and shouty about various different topics. And over the course of the last year to 2 years, I've phased the rants out. I still kind of go off on one occasionally. And I've recently started doing the love-hate list of things that I love and things that I hate. And they've been very well received, which is great. But I'm trying something new this week. I think it's going to be quite popular. I'm going to do a sporadic positivity list. And what's a positivity list? It's just a list of people that I want to give a shout out to in the community that I think have been doing amazing things for a variety of different reasons. Now, these things might be personal to me, and it might be something that they've done specifically for me, or it might be something that they did it's something that's impacted the whole community. Either way, I want to give a shout out to various different people within the community. So this is going to be a sporadic thing. If you guys like it, if you hate it, I might not do it again. But please let me know. The content in this channel is kind of arranged based on the feedback I get from you guys. So if you like something, we do it again. If you don't like it, we tend to put it in the bin and not do it again. So I think this will be a good idea. It's a positivity list. It's a whole bunch of names of people that I think deserve a shout out within this community. I've even made a list. That's how organized I am. So let's get to it. So the first name I want to put on the list is the one and only Kev Mark. Now, if you don't know who Kev Mark is, he is a magician based out in the UK who is a really great close-up magician. He is a member of various different Facebook communities. I've known of Kev for a while, for a long while. We've been connected on Facebook. We're not really best friends. It's not like I can knock on his door and ask for a cup of coffee, but over the last few months, I've become a big fan of Kev. And one of the reasons is because he has been competing in this thing called Banks Got Talent. Now, Banks Got Talent is a kind of a talent competition that has auditions and semi-finals and finals, and it's got a whole bunch of different heats. And Kev announced a while ago that he was going to be competing on Banks Got Talent. And luckily for us, it's not like a TV show. It's like it's like a really big pub, I think, a really big sort of, I'm not really too sure, but they have been streaming his performances online, not just his performances, but everybody else's performances as well. And I have watched every single one of the heats that Kev has been involved in. He's just finished his final and he came second, which was a remarkable achievement. Every sort of round that he did before then, he was the number one pick. He won it. He came second in the overall competition, which is an incredible achievement. But that's not the reason he's on this list. The reason he's on this list is because the magic that he was doing was incredibly strong. The magic that he was doing wowed the audiences. It wowed the judges. As me, somebody who was watching online, who knows a lot about magic, I was watching his performances and I was super impressed, as was Ryland, who watched them with me. We thought that he did an incredible job. And more importantly, when you ever see anybody do anything like this, it has a positive impact on magic, because what happens is people see somebody like Kev performing, doing a great job, and then they kind of think, you know what, I like that. I want to have a magician for my wedding. I want to have a magician for my corporate event. I want to have a magician for my birthday party, whatever it may be. And the more that we see people going out and performing and doing this sort of thing, the better the impact on the community. And Kev did an incredible job. And if you've got a few minutes and you want to see some great magic, performed really well, and magic that Kev created himself as well. He went and created the semi-final and the final piece himself, and he was doing material he'd never done before. He was really pushing himself out of the comfort zone. If you want to see somebody do something like that, then go onto his Facebook page and go and watch the performances from Banks Got Talent, because honestly, he smashed it out the park. He did a great job that's elevated magic in the whole community, and I was super impressed with him as a performer. It takes balls, it takes guts to go out and stand up in front of people and do a competition like that where you're basically getting judged. And he absolutely smashed it out of the park. So the first person that goes on this list is Kev Mark. The next person I'm going to put on this list is my friend Nemed Phoenix. So why am I putting Nemed on the list? Well, one, I've said on this channel over and over again that he is one of the best magicians in the world as far as I'm concerned. He is the best kept secret in magic. But he's done a couple of things recently where, you know, Nemed's my friend. And we are friends, and that's great. But he's gone above and beyond. And I said there were going to be things on this list that are personal to me, and this is one of them. So I've got a trick coming out with Murphy's Magic soon. And a lot of people don't realise, by the way, that that Nemed is a great videographer. He learnt it in lockdown, or started learning it before lockdown, really honed it during lockdown. He's got all of the kit, he's got all of the equipment. It's why his YouTube channel, when he launches it, is going to be a massive success. I know it is. But he has filmed tutorials and trailers for a bunch of different products recently, including That Figures by John Morton, Bitcoin by James Keatley, and I've got a new product coming out with Murphy's Magic soon, and Nemed helped with the filming for that. So there's a bonus section, and the bonus section is like 3 hours long, and he went and filmed the bonus section because the videographer for Murphy's wasn't available. Well, anyway, I filmed all of the live performances for this and most of the main explanations at Bath, at Slights Bar in Bath. Fantastic venue, got everything that we need. Unfortunately, there was a problem with some of the live performance footage. Not all of it, but some of it, there was a bit of an issue. And Lloyd literally rang me up and he said, hey, I'm putting this trailer together and not all of the footage has come out for a variety of different reasons. We need live performance footage of some of the other routines. Could you get it? And I'm like, when do you need it by? And he was ringing me up to get this as I was on the way up to Manchester in a car with Nemed. So I was on that, we were doing a 2-person close-up corporate luncheon in Manchester city centre. And he rang me up on the way to Manchester saying, we need this footage. I was like, okay, when do you need it? He's like, basically now, basically today. I'm like, well, I'm going up to do this gig, but I'm not going to be able to get the footage there. And he was on speakerphone. I was in the car with Nemed. Nemed was driving, and he basically said, I've got my equipment in the back of the car. When we finish the gig, we'll go and get lunch. It'll be about 3 o'clock at that point, and then you can go around bars and nightclubs, and you can get all the footage, and I'll film it, and I'll send it straight over to Lloyd. Now, to be clear, Nemed wasn't getting paid for this. Nemed wasn't getting anything out of doing this, but he did it. He literally, we finished the gig, he drove up, we did the gig, 2 hours of close-up magic, he smashed that. Then we went and grabbed something to eat, and then from, say, 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock, we were going in bars, and he was filming me, getting live performance footage for this project that's got nothing to do with him, and he wasn't getting paid to get this footage, and he did it just because, A, he wanted to help a friend, and B, he loves the project. He had an advanced copy of the thing, he knows what it is, he's been performing it for a while, and he was invested in it from that point of view. So big shout out to Nemed Phoenix. That is selfless, that's going above and beyond. Thank you, Nemed. I'm going to lump these two people together, which is Michael J. Fitch and Lee Hathaway. Michael J. Fitch and Lee Hathaway, who are part of the Magic Circle. They're on the council of the Magic Circle. And they were instrumental in making the first Magic Circle convention a reality. They were the ones that were kind of pushing forward to make it happen. And anybody who was at the first Magic Circle convention will tell you it was a fantastic experience for all involved. The gala show was amazing. The lectures were amazing. The dealer emporium was amazing. The fact that people could come in and have a look around the Magic Circle, just everything was great. Well, guess what? We're back. And there's a Magic Circle convention number 2. It's the 2nd annual Magic Circle convention, and they have been pushing forward to make it even bigger and even better than the year before. Every single person on the Magic Circle Council, to be honest, could be on this list, but I highlight Lee and Michael because they have gone and really pushed to make this convention a reality, and they've gone and made the 2nd year even bigger and better than the first year. And it's a lot of hard work organising a Magic convention. Just ask anybody who's involved with Blackpool. Just ask anyone who's involved with the IBM. It's a really big, hard job organizing a magic convention. But what they've done is they've gone and done it, and they've done a fantastic job, and they have made the second year even bigger and even better than the first year. I'm super excited to be there. Ryland's coming, Sarah's coming, Thea's coming. Can't wait to hang out with people. It's going to be a little bit easier this year because Ryland's not performing, so I'm going to be able to chill out and relax. I've even got a dealer booth there, so I'm really excited about going. But I wanted to give a shout out to Lee and Michael J. Fitch, Lee Hathaway and Michael J. Fitch, because they don't get paid to organize that convention. They don't get paid to put the effort in to make it happen. They just do it because they feel like it's going to elevate the magic circle, which it does, and they want a better magic. You know, I spoke on a video recently about, I personally believe that anybody who comes into magic should leave magic in a better place than they found it. And we have to have an impact on this community. And there's various different ways of doing that, and honestly, people like Lee and Michael who selflessly give up their time in order to do that, I think that magic's in safe hands with people like that. So the next person I'm going to give a shout out to is Megan Swann. Now, Megan Swann is the president of the Magic Circle, first female president of the Magic Circle, and she came into the Magic Circle as president after being vice president, and she came in quite a tumultuous time with a lot of, she came in during COVID. There was a lot of arguing, there was a lot of internal politics going on at the time, and she has, with the help of the council at the Magic Circle, really steadied the ship and sailed it in the right direction. I think she's done a great job of basically pushing the Magic Circle forward. I know that she's stepping down this year and she's no longer going to be president, and there's going to be a new president, and that's all well and good. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Megan. I know that, some people like the Magic Circle, some people don't like the Magic Circle. That's fine. I've had a love-hate relationship with them, but you cannot deny that the Magic Circle is in a better place after Megan has been president, and that's all down to her and the council and what they have achieved over the last couple of years. Okay, so the next person I want to give a shout out to is Chris James. Why do I want to give a shout out to Chris James? The reason is very simple. It was his idea to put together the Discord for the Netrix. I've always known that the Netrix needed a community where people could session and talk and chat and do all of this fun stuff. And I just knew that at the time, I didn't have the time to make that a reality, because it needs somebody who's a magician, who's a knowledgeable magician, who everybody knows, to be within that Discord driving things forward. And I knew I wouldn't have the time to do that with everything else I do and the content that I produce and managing the rest of the Netrix and Magic TV and Non-Stop Kids and Slightly Unusual and everything else I'm involved in. I just knew I wouldn't have the time, and I didn't want to set something up only for it to die. Well, Chris came in and he said, hey, let's do a Discord. I'm like, mate, I haven't got time. He's like, look, I'm going to help push it forward for you. I've been a Netrix member from day one. I believe in this. I want to help make the Netrix Discord channel the #1 Discord for magicians worldwide. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. And he's like, I want to. I really want to do that. I really want to help and give back to everything that Netrix has done for me. And I'm like, dude, I would be delighted to work with you on this. And that's what he's done. He's really kind of pushed it forward. And, we've only just launched. As of time of filming, we've only just launched. But I can see this Discord getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the driving force behind it is Chris James, who has selflessly jumped in, and this is a perfect example of leaving magic in a better place than you found it. He doesn't have to do that. No one's asked him to do that. No one's asked him to create this place where magicians can chat, and he just believes in the community. He believes in magic as a brotherhood, and it's fantastic. And just being around that guy and just chatting to him and talking to him makes me feel more positive about magic and where it's going and my role in it. So thank you, Chris. You're amazing. Okay, the next 3 people I'm going to lump together, and the next 3 people are John Morton, Drew Perry, and Phil Smith. 3 big names there. So who are they if you haven't heard of them? Well, first of all, Phil Smith is the guy that created the visual marking system for the DMC deck. He is considered one of the top graphic designers in magic and mentalism. He's considered one of the top creators of marking systems in the world. He's also an incredible mentalist. He's literally written the book when it comes to mentalism and magic. He's a performer, a creator, an innovator, and a friend. I've grown to consider Phil Smith a friend over the last few years, and he's just awesome. So Phil Smith Creative, his decks are just second to none. He's the first person I'm going to put on the list. The second person is John Morton. Who's John Morton? Well, he's again a creator, an innovator, a performer. He's literally written the book when it comes to magic. He's full Penn and Teller. His creations have gone on to do incredible things. A lot of people perform a lot of the magic that John Morton creates, and he's just he's just everywhere, and also one of the nicest people in magic. He would literally help anybody and not question it at all. Like, the guy's a legend. And then the other person, and I've interviewed both of those men on Magic TV, Phil Smith, John Morton. The other person, Drew Perry, I've also interviewed on Magic TV. Who is Drew Perry? Well, Drew Perry is, again, a performer, an innovator. You're going to see a lot of tricks coming from Drew Perry in the next year or two. In fact, one of his creations is, in my opinion, the best thing that's ever happened to the quantum deck. It takes the quantum deck to the next level, but it also has applications outside of the quantum deck as well. He's also created a bunch of other stuff. The guy just knows magic inside out, back to front, upside down, left way, sideways. However, beyond all of that, Drew Perry also is in special effects, and there's very few people that know special effects more than Drew. He basically is insanely good when it comes to that sort of thing, and has worked on huge TV shows, huge productions. Yeah. So what do Drew Perry, what do John Morton, and what do Phil Smith have in common? And I'm going to throw another name in there as well, Matt Clewley from the Matt Test. I know me and Matt joke around and, we're always slagging each other off, but Matt's worked for me for many, many years, and I consider Matt a great friend, and he inspires me daily when it comes to seeing his journey through magic, from starting knowing nothing through to where he is now, where he's confidently going out and performing on stage on a regular basis. Matt Clewley is he's showing people that it can be done. It's incredible. It really is. I wouldn't say that to his face, but I'll say it on here. Matt is awesome. So what do those four men have in common? Well, basically, they are the people that I turn to when Ryland got the chance to go on America's Got Talent and audition on America's Got Talent. I couldn't have put that act together if it wasn't for those four men. John Morton created the prop, custom created the prop in a matter of days. Drew Perry created Phil Smith created all of the drawings. If you look at Ryland's America's Got Talent act, you'll see that it involves drawings. All of the drawings were done by Phil Smith. So the drawings are done by Phil Smith. The prop was made by John Morton. And Drew, when me and Ryland had the idea to use UV on the judge's desk, which had never been done before, we didn't even know if that would be possible, if you could actually get UV to show up on a judge's desk. And everybody I was turning to said, no, it's not possible. No, it's not possible. And I rang Drew and I was like, is it possible? And he said, no, it's not possible. But I think I can make a way. I think I can figure out how to make it happen. And he did make it happen. He came up with a system that would allow us to gaff up the judge's desk to be able to do that AGT performance. Those three guys are amazing. So why is Matt in there? Well, Matt's in there because he came along to America with me and Ryland, and he was working with all of the kids from the Magic Castle Junior sort of section. He was making sure that they knew what they were doing. He was responsible for gaffing up the judge's desk. He had to get there before anybody else was there and put all of that together. So if it wasn't for Matt, if it wasn't for John, if it wasn't for Drew, and if it wasn't for Phil, that act wouldn't have happened, and Ryland wouldn't have appeared on America's Got Talent, sorry. So for all four of you men that managed to pull that together in a matter of a couple of weeks, when each and every one of you said, it's probably not possible, and yet you made it it happen. I owe you more than you can possibly ever realize, and I am forever in your debt. Okay, so the next person I want to put on that list is Andrew Neiner. I interviewed Andrew recently. It was an incredible interview. He's doing big things in the industry. I was honored when I was asked by Andrew and Penguin to be a part of the Boombox project, because I thought it was such an incredible prop, and to be invited to actually be a part of that was just humbling and fantastic. And you know, I love that prop. I use it all of the time. But I mentioned earlier about Chris James being a part of the Discord and being a part of you know, really being the driving force behind the Netrix Discord channel. Well, the first person he recruited to help him was Andrew Neiner, and Andrew's a really big part of that that Discord as well, and he's really pushing things forward. And again, it's something he didn't have to do. He's doing it, and it's amazing that he is. So Andrew, honestly, I think you're an incredible magician. Big things are happening for you, and it's why I wanted to interview you before you got super famous on this channel. And I want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing for the Discord, for the Netrix. I want to say thank you as well to Mike Davis from the British Secret Service. So why do I want to say thank you? I said that some of these were personal to me. This one is personal to me. I want to say thank you to Mike Davis from the British Secret Service. Now, if you don't know who Mike is, I've interviewed him on this channel. I also did a review show special on him about a week or so ago, where I reviewed a ton of the material that he's brought out. I'm a big fan of Mike. He's one of the few people that has taken Keymaster and improved on it, in my opinion, as opposed to just done basically the same thing. So why am I a big fan of Mike Davis? I have been doing reviews on this channel for years. For years I've been doing reviews on this channel. Review show specials, reviews with Ryland, whatever. Mike is the first person to ring me up, and my phone number's everywhere, everyone's got it. Mike's the first person to ring me up after I did a review show special, which takes time and effort. I have to sit down, I have to interview him. I then have to film, learn the tricks. I then have to film performances, film a review. I have to sit down and think about, and honestly, to do a review show special, it's a long process. And, you know, it takes a long time. It really does. And Mike's the very first person that I can remember that literally rang me up after the review. The day after, when he'd watched it, he rang me up and he said, "Thank you so much. I changed slightly the handling of one of his tricks." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I loved how you changed it. I thought it really added. Why didn't I think of doing that?" And he just rang me up. He didn't have to. Nobody asked him to do that. It's not like I asked him. It's not like I say, "Yes, I can review your stuff, but you'll have to ring me up and say thank you." That never happens. But the fact that he rang me up and said, "Just look, I want to ring you to say thank you. Thank you so much for doing that review show special." As somebody who spends hours and hours and hours producing content, that made it all worthwhile. So Mike, thank you so much for being the first person to actually do that. Okay, I also want to say thank you to Justin Miller. Justin Miller, my friend Justin Miller, the person who I consider to be one of the most creative people on the planet. Me and Justin have had a love-hate relationship over the years. We started off, met each other at Sam Magic Convention many, many years ago, hung out, everything was cool. I then reviewed one of his products and trashed it. We then went on and had a back and forth over the years, and you know, which I was basically instrumental in starting, and I was the dick back then, absolutely. And then we found a good place a couple of years ago, and now I consider Justin a very, very, very close friend. Not only a close friend, but an incredible magician. Why is Justin on this list? He's on this list for a bunch of different reasons. He's on the list because Magic's in a much better place because of him. I'm telling you right now, when it's all said and done and all of the smoke has cleared and all of the dust has settled in 100 years and people go back and look at the greats that were part of this industry at this point in time, like we do when we look back at Vernon, like we do when we look back at Leipzig, like we do when we look back at all of those names from years gone by, people will use Justin's name as an example of someone who created a ton of magic that really pushed magic forward. Now, he's like me. Some people love him, some people hate him. You cannot deny his absolute brilliance as a creator. You cannot deny his absolute brilliance as a performer. You cannot deny that the amount of magic that he has created and pushed out to the community he's taken so many different things and moved them in a direction that nobody could have ever possibly imagined. Justin Miller is amazing. Justin Miller is amazing. And also, he was one of the first people to text me and say congratulations on Ryland's performance. He didn't just post somewhere. He texted me and he said, hey, just seen Ryland's performance on AGT. Thought he was brilliant. That literally meant the world to me. To have somebody like Justin Miller. I showed that to Ryland, who's a huge fan of Justin's. And Ryland was like, oh my God. Ryland was tearing up. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. So Justin, thank you for being a good friend, and thank you for being an incredible creator of magic. So there you go, guys. That's the positivity list. I think I might do one of these every couple of months. I'm just going to keep an eye on magic, and when somebody does something that impresses me, I think I might add it into the list. I think it's a really good thing to do. I think that being positive is better than being angry. And I do get angry from time to time with the amount of hate that I get on this channel. But you know what? If I can do a positivity list here and then, you know, every so often, I think that would be a really good idea. Let me know. Should I do this again? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Should we carry on doing a positivity list? Is it a good idea? As I say, I get guided by the people that watch this channel. If you guys like something, I'm going to do it again. If you hate something, I'm not going to do it again. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. You want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video like I am every single day this week. But if you want to hang out with me, you can go join the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com. Go check it out and see what all the fuss is about, because there's a lot of big things happening on the Netrix. There really is. And you can go and join, and you can get access to the Discord immediately, and you can hang out with me and Chris and everybody else that's in there. So go do that, and I will see you again soon. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.